All right. Hi, everybody. Here to talk about book 13, and moving away from that flashback and back into Odysseus's present time, leaving Sharia, right, the island of Sharia, and as they promised, right, they get everything together to send him back to Ithaca. Ship, all the men. They also bring all of these gifts for him to take back, which obviously we'll learn more about in 13 and 14 when they have to put them aside. So essentially, book 13 is that travel back and kind of, figuring things out, even though he's going to be very confused for quite a bit of book 13. So essentially, they get on the ship with the Phoenicians, and he sleeps for most of the journey. Sleeps all the way until they get to Ithaca, and he's still asleep when they get there. And they unload the ship with all the gifts they'd given him and him, and they leave him there, and they take back. Now, when he ends up in Ithaca sleeping, Poseidon takes now, right? And Poseidon is ticked. And if you remember way back, actually, I don't think I had you read book 8. In book 8, they talk briefly about this prophecy, right, for the Phoenicians that they are going to see happen. So Poseidon is super upset, talks to Zeus. Zeus stops him from basically going over the top in his punishment, but Zeus does let him destroy the ship that sent Odysseus back to Ithaca. So as the ship is going back home, right before it gets home, it sinks with everybody in it. And everybody knows that prophecy. And so, going forward, they say they will never help another wayward person again, right? So for somebody who's lost, who needs help, that's it. You're no longer going to help. And you can thank Odysseus for that. So Odysseus ends up in Ithaca, but when he wakes up, Athena had created this mist, right? So all over the island is this mist, and so he can't tell it's Ithaca, and he's very frustrated. He thinks they dropped him off in the wrong place, but Athena, again in disguise, comes as a shepherd and starts to talk to him about Ithaca, right, and that it's the place, and basically what he has to do is he's got to figure out how to get rid of all these suitors, right, and he asks Athena for help, which is, of course, you support you in any way you can, but you have to get in a disguise, right, and so he is going to disguise as an old man, a poor old man, and go to Eamus, right? And Eamus, who is a shepherd, right? He's going to talk to him and understand about the loyalty of Eamus to Odysseus, and that he doesn't believe Odysseus comes back, and that's obviously in book 14. But the role of Odysseus basically is to figure out a plan to take back his throne, right, and to get rid of all of these men. And they talk a lot about Eamus will definitely in book 14 talk a lot about the men who've kind of come in and have been eating and drinking and doing whatever they want as they try to court his wife, because they believe Odysseus is dead, and she is holding strong that Odysseus is alive and will eventually come back. So we've gotten to Ithaca, but it's kind of a slow process for Odysseus to get back to his throne and to his reign. At the end of book 13, right, Athena says she's going to go get Telemachus. And he's frustrated with her because he's like, why didn't you tell Telemachus that I'm alive? And she talks about how Telemachus needed to grow, right, and he needed to have purpose, and this was purpose for him. And so her job is to get him back safely to Ithaca, right? Because he was actually in some danger. So she's going to go back, and the book 13 ends with her going back to Telemachus and Odysseus going to talk to Eamus. All right, so that is it. Book 13, though, same amount of pages. The other one, I would say, it doesn't have quite as much detail as we saw, especially in those flashback chapters. All right, when I talk to you again, it'll be about book 14. Hope all is well. Talk to you guys soon.